Hi everybody, this is Lynn Hayes calling. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really happy to see you here. Today we're going to be talking about the astrology for the week of February 4th. We have a new moon in Aquarius this week, which is going to be exciting and bring the potential for some new change. So before we get to that, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. You can click the little bell and you'll get a notification every time there's a new video. Right now I'm posting every Monday. I hope to be posting more as I become more familiar with the medium, and I certainly have plenty to say. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to launch into a discussion about traditional astrology and modern astrology and the differences, because that's kind of important when we're talking about Aquarius, and I'll explain why in just a minute. So before we get into that, I want to go kind of briefly through a discussion of what's going this week. We have the new moon is on the 4th, which will be the day this video drops. And the new moon in Aquarius is an exciting time full of intelligence and brilliant thought and innovation and clarity. Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac, and it has a dual rulership, which is why the discussion of traditional astrology versus modern astrology gets to be more significant. The traditional ruler is Saturn, and for 2,000 years, Saturn was the ruler of Aquarius. And that worked really well for astrologers during that time. Most astrologers, though, really weren't doing client consultations for the masses. They might have clients who were royalty or military chieftains, but they weren't seeing people in their office like I do, helping them with their everyday problems. So, for example, in 150 AD, Verdius Valens said, Aquarius is a celestial sign which is masculine, solid, anthropomorphic, damp, single. It is mute, quite cold, etc. There's a lot of that kind of phrasing. But he also says that Aquarius was the cause of troubles arising from athletic training, carrying burdens, or work in hard materials. Men born under the sign are malicious and haters of their own families. So that is not really helpful in client consultations. Saturn's rulership of Aquarius, though, does give Aquarius a detachment and a little bit of coldness. And that's necessary for Aquarius, because Aquarius's role is to detach us from the realm of emotions so that we can see clearly. And I could talk for an hour about Aquarius, and I may do that. I may set up some videos for each of the signs. But the new moon in Aquarius really encourages us to rise above our own emotional drama, to let go of our own resentments and attachments and the more negative emotions that we tend to carry with us, and seek a higher view. And from this, I think we can really read the modern influence of Uranus. Uranus being the sky god who looks from the sky at the world and has a much higher view. There's a quality of fairness, there's a quality of detachment and reason and innovation with Aquarius. So for this new moon, which is occurring Monday the 4th in the Northern Hemisphere, this is a time when you're going to want to think about changes that you might need to make in terms of attachments, dramas, anything that you really feel ready to let go of. The one thing about planetary energies is they kind of, we don't have to really work too hard to figure out what needs to be let go here. The moon is new, meaning the sun and moon are aligned, and they're new in Aquarius. And the information about what we need to let go of is going to rise to the surface. We're going to know that we're ready, and we're going to easily let go. So if you know your chart and you can see what degree the new moon falls in, it'll be at 15 degrees Aquarius. So if you have your chart, if you don't have your chart, you can get a free copy at astro.com and then see where 15 degrees Aquarius falls in your chart. Whatever house that is the area where you're more likely to experience the effects of the new moon, which is sort of it's a time of new beginnings, new changes, letting go of something from the past and starting a brand new cycle. That's really the biggest news for this week. The other thing that I wanted to just mention, there are 3 planets in the sign of Aquarius, including Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of the mind. Mercury deals with communication and thought and transmission of information. When Mercury is in Aquarius, and it's at about the midpoint of Aquarius right now, a little bit past its midpoint, our thinking has the potential to be very innovative, just like Aquarius, detached, unconcerned with the petty dramas of human life. So Mercury in Aquarius gives us a real brilliance of thought. This is a really great time for writers, any kind of creative right now. There's also harmonious angles right now between Mercury and Mars, which helps to energize our thought, energize our communication, and also Uranus, which is the planet of radical change and innovation and doing things that are new. So this just all together, there's just a lot of kind of sparkly, fresh energy for this week. I do want to give you a little bit of caution though, because Mars, which just made a challenging square to Pluto, it will have been right before this video comes, is now moving into position to align with Uranus. So Mars is a planet of aggression and assertive energy. It's our drive. It's where we're impulsive and fiery. And Uranus is the planet of change and doing things radically different. So when we combine Mars's aggression with Uranus's change, and it can be a little bit explosive. Sometimes we can be impulsive. So this is a good time right now. It's actually not going to perfect that alignment until the 13th. So it's going to be building until then. So I'll be talking more about that next week. But certainly this week, start to observe if you're starting to feel kind of impulsive and feel like you really have to do something. A lot of times that's our intuition and we need to listen to it and respect it. But if we're just sort of acting from impulse, going here, going there, that's maybe a time to sort of sit back and say, okay, how do I really, really feel about this? So if you're coming to this video on YouTube, I'll post the link to the article about the planets for this week. I seem to talk about different things if I'm writing or if I'm doing the video. So if you're not interested in my rant on traditional astrology and modern astrology, feel free to stop watching now. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week.